I don't know if I should get this thing started or let y'all talk. We have been separated from each other for so long that it's just nice to get out, isn't it? It really is. And I have to tell you, I just, watching the various people come up to the building, I'm like, oh, look, there's, ML, and all the, Chris Lafferty over COVID, I think you grew a very long beard. First time out in the sun. Yeah. Well, it's good to see so many people here. I have to tell you, it really is a joy, and it's really exciting to see. Retired faculty and staff members who came back for this, many of whom are sitting right here in front of me, and it really is an honor to have you come back to campus. And then our current faculty and staff members who are kind of, sitting around the back. Some are sitting in the chairs, and it just means a lot to have you here and celebrate this important moment. And of course, we have the Skaggs family, and we'll be honoring them in many ways. And we're so grateful for you and the way you have given yourselves to this college. It makes a big difference. It truly does. And I'm looking at folks like Lloyd and Tom. Where are you, Tom Williams? People like that. And we have a number of our elected officials who are here. Jonathan, where are you? I saw you in the back. You city, whatever you are, Lauderdale County. Lauderdale County Supervisor. But more importantly, the father of a student who's about to graduate from this institution. And then George Thomas back there in City Council. Mayor Bland, where are you? Mayor Bland, right there. Let me see who else I wrote out. Fanny, where are you? I saw you, right there. We're grateful for our support from our city and from our county. Today, the legislature is in its final stages of what we hope is voting on a bill that will be more generous than we've had in the past. We're still crossing our fingers for that. But we've got some great elected officials who care about this college and care about our community, and we're very grateful for them. I'm saying this publicly. I have the absolute best board of trustees that anyone could ever have, and that includes Tommy Dulaney and C.D. Smith, and I don't know, do I have any others here that snuck in somewhere? But they're fantastic, and the support they give to this college is really, I'm very grateful. Adrian Cross, did I see you somewhere? Oh, there you are. Meridian Freedom Project, an organization that was very important to Dr. Skaggs, and she directs that program, and I have the privilege of serving on the board of that organization. So we can't honor anything about Dr. Skaggs without also honoring the work of the Meridian Freedom Project as well. So thank you. But welcome here. I think I've covered all the folks that I need to say hello to, but I'm so grateful you're here. I truly am. And to begin, let's start with just a moment of silence, thinking about and remembering the life of Dr. Skaggs. Amen. Who's next? Mr. C.D. Smith, member of our board and a longtime friend of Dr. Skaggs.
So Dr. Huebner said longtime member of the board, longtime friend of Dr. Skaggs, yes, but I'm a retread on the board. I had about a 12-year hiatus as I had another project. But anyway, this is about Dr. Skaggs and just right here, this place. When I think about Dr. Skaggs, going back to when I first met him, and there are certain words that come to mind for me: leadership, mentorship, father figure, friend. And as far as thinking about leadership, Dr. Skaggs was a visionary leader, and of course his style of leadership was one that, the great leadership he provided here at Meridian, started junior college, then community college, was noteworthy. But he was a kind of leader that provided leadership here, but also was very engaged in the community, but he was doing it, providing leadership behind the scenes. Whenever there was something significant going on where the community had an issue or crisis of sort, you could rest assured that Dr. Skaggs was in the background working, helping towards getting that issue resolved. And also in his leadership style, he was one who always made sure with his engagement with any project, that others who were working on the project or the effort got the credit, not him. So in speaking of his leadership on the board, he had an interesting way of bringing issues to the board, and Tommy Delaney can identify with this. I can recall there were occasions when he would bring an issue to the board, and if there were questions or concerns expressed, he would say, well, let me take that back and massage it a bit, and then I'll bring it back, we'll come back with it later. And Tommy, he did that on many occasions. So back in those days, our votes were always unanimous, but not really. It was after he got our input, and then we would vote, and he said, okay, he'd consider everything. So that I do remember for sure. Visionary, it was two, of course, Tommy was here as long, in fact, longer than Dr. Skaggs, 35 years, Tommy a little bit longer, but I remember visionary leadership when he brought forward the idea of this crazy thing called tuition guarantee. And of course, it had never been discussed elsewhere, anywhere as far as we knew in the nation. And of course, we were pretty proud at the time that, yeah, this idea, tuition guaranteed, and of course, even today, battling the notion that it's free. You know, it's not free. A lot of people sitting here that helped make that tuition guarantee what it has been and is now. So over the years, I came to appreciate all of Dr. Skaggs' leadership abilities. My first involvement with him goes back to 1989 when I was a part of Leadership Lauderdale. Dr. Skaggs was a part of the group of instructors talking about leadership, and that's when I first heard of servant leadership and that whole concept and what it means. And of course, because of that, because of Dr. Skaggs, it helped me understand what it means to be a servant leader and be engaged in community and in everything around you. I mentioned father figure. Over the years, Dr. Skaggs also, in our conversations, we'd end up talking about personal things occasionally, and he'd listen well, but then he'd start with a response to an personal issue that I may have brought up, and he would say, yeah, that pause, that's what he would do, the pause. That's what that was all about. But then when he did speak, he would certainly provide sage advice or for the situation that I truly did appreciate. And additionally, over the time and after the many opportunities we faced over the years, either here at the community college or even in community efforts, over time it became clear that the relationship had morphed into even a friendship, a real friendship. That and I think Mrs. Skaggs can recall we had gotten to the point that either I'd call Dr. Skaggs up or he'd call me, and we'd just kind of figure out who's free for lunch, and we'd just no agenda. We'd just have lunch, just to visit. So, saying all that to say that, yeah, he was a great leader, visionary leader for the community, leader for the community college, and I think this recognition and an expression of appreciation at the front door of the community college is absolutely a great tribute to a man who gave so much to the college and to the community. Thank you.
I don't remember the first time I heard the name Bill Skaggs. I think it was at some point when I was teaching back in the 90s. He was a man it seemed everyone knew. I do remember having become president at East Mississippi Community College that the longtime president there, Dr. Tommy Davis, would often comment on how much he thought of Dr. Skaggs and how he considered Dr. Skaggs to be such a good friend. He told me often about conversations the two of them would have, about dreams they had for this part of our state. And then I became president of Meridian Community College. He was an instant positive force in my life. He loyally and without fanfare attended MCC events. I might see him at an art gallery event, or I might see him at a baseball game. He was humble, kind, and unassuming. In fact, I remember one event, it might have been the first art gallery show I attended as president, that someone nudged me and said, "Hey, that's Dr. Skaggs. You should go talk to him." I did, and I'm glad I did. When you think about the impact of your life, you think about your family, you think about your dreams, any goals you might have. You think about the legacy of your children. You might think about your spiritual impact on others. I don't know. But I think all of us want to live lives that matter. We all want to live lives that make a difference. I think we all want to impact the world in some significant way, at least the world we know. When Dr. Skaggs passed, I had the opportunity to sit in the room while many of his friends and colleagues filmed videos of remembrance. They were fun to hear. The pause stories were present in just about every video, I think. The stories about the early days and the energy surrounding the big vision shared by Dr. Skaggs. I personally feel so connected to that heritage. The best part, though, was learning about how he cared for others, how he believed in the power of an education, and how he sought justice and equity. You do understand, at least I hope you do, that Dr. Skaggs was a rare leader. He understood the big picture, pushed people to succeed, placed his college on a path that in many ways continues to guide us. He handled business with kindness, clarity, and a consideration for how Meridian Community College, MJC at the time, could be a driving force in Meridian and Lauderdale County. And it is, by the way. So after Dr. Skaggs passed and our Board of Trustees made the decision to rename this building in his honor, it just made sense. The building I'm facing is the centerpiece of this campus. It's usually the first building our students enter to become students, and it's often the last one they leave as they walk away with a degree or certificate. It just seemed fitting that we would remember the man who, for so many years, was the heartbeat of this campus by attaching his name to this building. Thank you, Dr. Skaggs, for investing your life in this place and in so many. Thank you, Sally, and your children, Skip, for affording us that privilege. I have a little plaque that I want to share with you. I know you probably don't need plaques. But in grateful recognition of Dr. Bill Skaggs' lifelong commitment to education, to Meridian Junior/Community College, and to helping others discover who they are and what they can achieve, the service and vision of Dr. Skaggs touched the lives of thousands. I just want to share this with you. And I've had both my shots. We're good. Anybody else? You got it? This is a great day for MCC. Skip, you got it from here.
All righty. Thank you, Dr. Huebner. And thank you to everybody who came out today. What an incredible, incredible honor. It's hard to capture our gratitude in just a few brief comments. It is an honor that we share with our family, as well as our MCC family. An extended group of folks, we, the family, have met and experienced life's events with over the course of what is almost 60 years. See, Mom and Dad moved to Mississippi from Florida with two young boys, ages 1 and 3, not knowing anyone. In time, through work and church, connections grew, and so did the family, with my sister's birth followed by mine in 1968. Growing up, Dad spent a lot of time at the college events or just plain working. For me and my siblings, this naming reflects not just a life's work of our father, but also of our mom. A recognition of our mom as well, who labored to take care of 4 children. Four children who were all just 2 years apart in age, with a dad who was absent, working, tending to the needs of our extended college family. MCC is just that. When you work here, you are part of a family. And Dad saw it as his role to nurture those relationships. A role he carried on for 33 years plus, most of it within the walls of this building. I don't know how many of you know, but this building, this college, was almost sited on Highway 39, north of North Hill Street, north of the Winn-Dixie. I don't know what the determining factor was in choosing this location. I've forgotten that part of the story. I've also heard stories about why the eagle and why the color green. Those are stories that I don't always remember the ending. But what I do remember is Dad's love of Ivy Hall. Yes, he liked the baseball field, but he loved Ivy Hall. The iconic mosaics. You know, it's been said that you can be put in front of any administration building on any college campus in Mississippi and you won't know what campus you're on, but not Meridian. Ivy Hall is distinctly Meridian Community College, and Dad was particularly proud of that. He was proud of Homer Castile, the MJC art instructor who designed the mosaics, and the two debated their order and how they would be placed out during the construction. I think that was about 1965 or 66, I don't know. But I want to go back a little further in time. I want to go back to 1922, back when the Mississippi legislature first established the system for community colleges or junior colleges as outgrowths of agricultural high schools. Then in 1928, when the legislation decided that that was a good idea and they needed to determine a funding mechanism for these colleges, it was then that Dr. Horace Macaulay Ivy, superintendent of the Meridian Public Schools, saw to it and led the effort to see that the legislation included language that would allow municipal school districts to create their own community colleges or junior colleges. And so 9 years later, after that effort, Dr. Ivy was able to push and worked with the Meridian Public School District in 1937, and they added grades 13 and 14 within the Meridian Public Schools, and the college was born. So when you see the established 1937, whether it's on a t-shirt or a marker, that's where it comes from. It comes from Dr. Ivy's vision of a college that reaches out to its community. Now, Dr. Ivy served as the superintendent of Meridian Public Schools and president from 37 to 52, and was an early pioneer in the community college mission. It was through Dr. Ivy's efforts, working with the local Chamber of Commerce, that the school identified and met training needs, as witnessed in the construction of Ross Collins Vocational Center at Meridian High. Those early years were a testament to Dr. Ivy's push for a college that met the needs of traditional and non-traditional students, as well as the community at large. I share all of that history first because Dad would have wanted me to. And second, because I think it helps underscore the vision this institution held by Dr. Ivy and Dad. Both were adamant that the college's role was not just an academic schoolhouse, but a resource to serve citizens and industry throughout the community, no matter their age or their need. While the institution's name may have reflected grades 13 and 14 at Meridian Senior High School, or that of Meridian Junior College, Horace Ivy and Bill Skaggs knew from the very beginning that this was a community college. This is quite an honor. It's an honor that I'd like to thank, I think Dr. Ivy would approve as well. These are two men who have dedicated their professional lives to seeing this community's needs, for improving the lives of citizens, and seeing that this college took root, grew, and eventually flourished. Dad loved this school. He loved its students, and he certainly loved his faculty and staff. But above all, he loved the community college mission. So on behalf of the Skaggs family, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Huebner, to the Meridian Community College Board of Trustees for this timeless honor. It is both greatly and fondly appreciated. Thank you.
My name is Leah Hill. I'm the Executive Director of the MCC Foundation and the Vice President for Institutional Advancement. We genuinely appreciate all of you coming to this very special event. Thank you, CD and Dr. Huebner and Skip. We appreciate your thoughtful and meaningful comments. As you all likely know by now, Dr. Skaggs was important to our college. Not only did he form a vision that moved the college forward, he created a vision that has guided all of us for decades. I think anytime we have a question about how to move forward, we think to ourselves, what would Dr. Skaggs want us to do? And it's very, very helpful. Dr. Skaggs was beloved, to say the least. And along with our love for him, we also have a deep appreciation for his family.